Leave where we are. Leave that weak state. We leave that unspiritual state. It is time now for us to come out of the baby stage and go on to adult Christian, adult experiences. Don't rest until the Lord touches you. Don't rest till you come out that mountain. Meat belong to those that are adults. Also, it's time for us to teach others the experiences and give them the thoughts and become righteous and steadfast in what we believe. The Spirit is the power that moves believers forward. Faith looks up, the one who promised the hope. You have stayed long enough in that mountain. It's time to move from infant state. It's time to get a spiritual eye, a spiritual appetite. The soul has its sensation as well as the body. Saints, come up from that state and be holy. Cleanse your conscience from dead works so that you can serve a living God. You have dwelt long enough in that place. You have dwelt in doubt. You have dwelt in dead works long enough. Laying on hands with no power. Preaching with no power. Working at the altar and nobody getting saved. The Lord said, you've dwelt there long enough. The Lord has called many of you to various works of ministry, but we are called to lay hands on those that are bound and sick and depressed. You can't stay bound and sick, depressed, and lay hands on nobody. The Lord said, you've stayed there long enough. Bring souls to Christ. It's time to do what the Lord said to do. I'm here to tell you, it's time to tell yourself, I have been there long enough. Hardships of life have equipped you to move forward. Hardships of life have prepared you to do God's will. No longer will I stay on the do-nothing mountain. In my clothes, I will say it's time to move out of that mountain. The Lord told me to tell you, long enough you have been there. Saints, it's time to ask God to touch you, turn you around. If you want to be used of the Lord, come on out of there. Those are led by the Spirit. They are the sons of God. We have not received the Spirit. We have received in adoption the Spirit, the nature of God. We must go and possess all the Lord has promised us. Go forward, step forward, move higher, get more of God. Come out from where you are. You gotta say like David said, when you get to a point, when you're tired of where you are, say like David said, teach me how to be holy. Teach me your truth. Teach me your ways. I want to walk like you. David said, forgive me of my sin and my youth. Saints, you have been there long enough. Spiritual maturity, it's time to get there. Long enough, you've had no private devotion, no victory, no power, no joy, no spiritual life, no worship, no praise, no ministry, unclean thoughts, no holiness. The Lord said, I will clean you up. The Lord said, I will make a way. It's time to come out of that mountain of oppression, that mountain of depression, that mountain of crying all the time, that mountain of not wanting to to be used, it's time for you to throw your hands up and say, I've been there long enough, long enough. I've been there. I'm ready to come out. It's time. The mountain of slothfulness, the mountain of mean attitude, the mountain of that elementary state, that lack of spiritual growth. I know to do right, but I won't do right. It's time to come out. Stay there long enough. You wandered long enough. You cried long enough. The Lord is saying, it's time to say, I'm ready to get it together. My mind goes to the prodigal son. The prodigal son had everything. He left his daddy house. He was a blessed man. But the prodigal son made up in his mind, I'm going to do my thing like a lot of us are doing our thing. But to make the story short, when that prodigal son got down in the hog pen, eating slop with the hogs, when that prodigal son realized how low down he had fallen, he looked up and recognized my daddy's hired servants got more than I got, doing better than I'm doing. He came to himself. When you come to yourself, you make a change. When you come to yourself, you turn around. When you come to yourself, you fall on your face and say, it's me, it's me, it's me all along. He came to himself. Came to himself, got up. I can hear him saying, I've stayed there long enough. I don't know who you are, but God said you stayed there long enough. I know your husband treating you bad. I know your wife running out on you. I know your marriage don't have no more love in it. You're living together, but the love is gone. You ain't got to say amen. I've been saved long enough. Your wig is pretty, but you ain't doing nothing but flinging your hair. Long enough. You're waving your hand, but ain't no power. Long enough. You can't sleep at night because your children are on drugs and cussing and stealing and in jail. But God said, if you give me those kids, pray for somebody else. Ask me to save somebody else. Turn them loose. Long enough. You stayed there. I'm not going to ask you to lift your hands. Some of you say you call to preach, that's all right. But you ain't got no power. You don't have to even know the Bible no more. All you got to do is go online and get you a message. Long enough. You come waiting on the praise team to pump you up. But God is saying it's time to come in the doors. Pumped up, it's time to come in the door with your own song. It's time. Long enough. Somebody say, I've been there long enough. Open your mouth and say, I've been there long enough. You talked about what they don't do, what they're not doing, who's not living right, but God called you to live right. You walk holy. You hold up the light. You draw the souls. Long enough. I gotta quit. Long enough. I gotta cut it short. You've been there long enough. Bishop can't do it. God can do it. If God takes him today, can you survive? Are you saved?